Okay, well hello everybody, and a bit of retro today because one cannot always spend 2 days straight editing pictures on a screen or one simply goes bananas. But today I want to bring you this obviously ancient Roman designed building, even if it may have been a Sasanian or Persian building, and I'm going to put it to you that this is quite clearly a Roman building. It is a actual competitor to Hagia Sophia, and it's an example of why what you read on Wikipedia simply cannot be trusted. So this building is called the Taq Kasra, and it seems to be named after a king called, well, essentially his name was Khosrov. So, and it says here we don't know when it was built. It might have been built in 242, 272, or it might have been built in 540 AD. I put it to you, it was built in 540 AD. We're going to prove that in this video. And it also says here the arch was part of an imperial palace complex. The throne room was behind the arch. No, I don't think so. We're going to look at... Look, honestly, I think this was more a kind of town hall type structure, a center of power. It was not a palace. All the windows are bricked up. It's more like a mausoleum or ziggurat-like structure, or a successor to the ziggurat, but done in a totally late Roman style, I think, late Roman architects. And it also says here, French architect, French artist Eugene Fladin visited and studied the structure of with Pascal Coste, who remarked the Romans had nothing similar or of the type. Now, that's been included in Wikipedia. We're going to show that is complete rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So this is the earliest, one of the earliest pictures we seem to possess from 1824, and we have a later one from the 1870s. And the mud flood people are going to love this, but this whole section was washed away in the 1880s by a flood. So this is an Iraqi stamp from 1923, and all that's gone, and a bit's gone there. I think Saddam Hussein started rebuilding it, so a lot has been rebuilt. Yeah, I think he must have rebuilt this section here. It's more joined up. And this is, of course, one of the biggest vaults in the world, if not the biggest ancient vault. And, of course, in the Iraq War. And, of course, you will notice how it's been built. It's been built just like the Romans build things, from little bricks. It's got these little triptych arches, total late Roman style. I think it was done by Roman architects. And of course Wikipedia tells us one thing that's accurate, that the Romans owned this city about 5 times, and the Sasanians actually called this the city of the Romans. It was right on the border. It was a sort of borderland between the Roman places, the Roman Empire and the Sasanian Empire. We see something truly weird going on up here. We see what seems to be equidistant holes. What were these for? These were for holding something up. Possibly the arch itself was being held up. There was some lattice work or something. And here we see reinforcing, which is quite interesting. This was a type of reinforced work, or it's just totally weird. This thing here is a Gothic arch. The Gothic arch comes from the east. The Normans were exposed to this on the Crusades, and they started building this at home. So we don't. But the thing is, here we see Roman arches, Roman arches, Roman arches, Roman arches. This is a very, very Roman building. That's the only thing that isn't Roman. So you have to ask, why is this building not really being spoken of? And I suppose the answer is, well, we don't know its origin. Now, this is a museum in Iran, and they have obviously copied the style. And obviously, yes, I think it's the original was an Iranian building, but it was obviously built by the Romans. And we can sort of prove this. There was a sort of USSR, USA-like rivalry. Imagine the Byzantines of the USA and the Sassanids of the USSR. they're both competing. They're both competing maybe with sports. They're both competing with architecture. In 537, this was built. This is the Hagia Sophia. And I think it's obvious that the Taq Kasra must have been built. It's named after a king who supposedly built this in 540. I think this was the competition to the Hagia Sophia. He said, no. Oh, they're building that, are they? Well, we're going to build something even better. So they got some Roman architects. They built it in a similar style to the Romans. They used their own Gothic style arch. And of course, you have to ask, well, why were the Byzantines building this? And why were the Byzantines building something like this, Hagia Sophia, in the Byzantine Empire? Well, the answer is I think they were copying the Pantheon in Rome. They needed to have their own huge dome. This is the Pantheon in Rome. It's like an ocular device. This beam of light shoots around the floor. There was something similar here, except they painted the sun instead of actually having a sort of a little portal. So the Byzantines were very different, probably because they didn't worship the sun, I suppose. Unlike the Romans clearly worshipped the sun. So this is Hagia Sophia. That dome is so similar to the Pantheon in Rome. And this is the little Hagia Sophia. This one is called the Hagia Irina. And this building is the only building in Istanbul it's a church that was never converted into a mosque. It has this strange atrium here. So this lets in a huge amount of light. So that's what it looks like. And so there's all this light coming in. And I think this is the effect that the builders of the Taq Kasra are trying to achieve. Just a huge vaulted space. And of course, this is more Byzantine architecture. So you see, Byzantine architecture is characterized by all these arches. And this is how we know that the Romans built or influenced something. And of course, that is the original. That is the original inspiration. And so here's the proof, guys. I told you there'd be proof. So this is the Tower of London, and the Tower of London is quite clearly a Roman building. I said this in a video from a year ago, and I showed you a Roman medallion, which this is based on. And of course, we all the people say, oh well, hang on a second. The Normans must have built this. I don't see a single Gothic Norman arch. Well, actually, a few of these might be Gothic looking. The rest are Roman looking. The Normans had an architecture style absolutely identical to ancient Rome. So to late Rome, how can you tell? You can't tell. This is a Roman building, which I think they might have repaired. And of course, this is the same sort of thing you have here in Ireland. This is Ardmore. And Ireland is just beautiful. That was the best holiday I ever had. That's amazing. Ireland is just amazing. And you see people standing here as if they're inside a huge cathedral. So this is actually commemorating some kind of cathedral somewhere, some Byzantine-like cathedral. It is just so similar. Again, Ardmore. This was built in the 700s. This is St. Declan's home. Just amazing. This is the Roman style. So the Byzantine Empire was the strongest economy in Europe at the time, so they copied the Byzantine culture, the Byzantine style, on this Irish building. So clearly influenced in this case by Rome. And again, this is also from the 700s. I even said in a video this could be just a straight Roman building, a straight building from the 500s or the 400s. It's a late Roman building. Again with the arches, it's in the Byzantine style. And this is just spectacular. This is in a town called Bradford-on-Avon. It's called the Saxon Church of St. Lawrence. Yeah, the Saxons would have used it. They had no idea what this was 100 years ago, and a priest came along and said, oh, hang on a sec, this building looks a bit weird. It might be very old. And so they said, well, yeah, it's Dark Ages. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. So basically that just shows that this building is exposed with all its manifest arches, all its huge its arches. This is exposed as a piece of Roman architecture. Probably ordered by the Iranians, but I think built with Roman architects in a town that was said to be inhabited by Romans. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video about the secret Roman building that you never knew about, which has the biggest ancient vault in the world.